As we grow older, there are many things we really should have, and one of these is a will. A will is very interesting because it shows not only what is important to a person, but who it is they wish to pass it on to. This may well change many times during a person's life. During the Middle Ages, there lived a famous French writer named Rabelais. When he died, his will was read out, and it said simply, "I owe much. I possess nothing. All the rest I leave to the poor." That's probably how most of us will end up. Today we hear the reading of Jesus' will. He was making his farewells to his friends and wanted to pass on to them what was important to him. So he gives them his last will and testament. He says, "My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. I give you something new." The friends must have been very excited to hear what it was that Jesus was going to give them. What great new tidbits of wisdom was he going to impart now? Perhaps a whole new set of laws. They loved laws, and the more complicated the laws, the more they loved them. Was he going to give them a new set of beliefs? A whole creed, perhaps? They could hardly wait. What was he going to leave them? This is what Jesus said then, and what he left. "I do give you a new commandment. Love one another." That was Jesus' last will and testament to them and to us. We can imagine how disappointed those disciples were not to get that thick law book prescribing new things for them to do. Love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. That and that alone, Jesus tells us, is what it means to be a Christian. He doesn't give a long list of beliefs, saying that if you believe this, that, and 100 other things, you will have the right to be called Christian. He didn't give a sample ballot for use in elections. He didn't give a whole new set of laws. All he said was, if you love one another, you will be known as my followers. How simple and how beautiful, and how far we have come in our insistence on complicating things. When I was a child, the term Christian had a very good connotation. It meant someone who is extremely charitable, loving towards all, patient, and always kind. That was Christian charity. Growing up, the prime example I had of that were my own grandparents. In my eyes, they were the most charitable people I knew. I saw my grandfather going every week to the city hospital to cut the hair and nails of the poor and elderly, all for free, of course. He would visit the blind and do their shopping for them. He became rather famous for making beautiful doll houses and doll furniture out of wood. When someone admired one of his doll houses and wanted to buy it, he would always say, "There is no price on this. Just take it and it is yours. But whatever you think it is worth, whether it be $5 or $5,000, give that amount of money to the poor." His whole life was spent doing little acts of charity like that. Every evening my grandparents sat together and spent hours sewing bandages for the leper colonies in the missions. As far as I was concerned, there was nothing that was too much for my grandparents. They were to me the symbol of what Christianity was, an unquestioning love for all without exception. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. I'm afraid the world has become quite a different place now. The term Christian, as used today, no longer means the same thing at all. Christian no longer means someone whose heart is filled with charity. The term has been usurped by a far different group of people who use it for themselves exclusively, to the exclusion of everyone else, including Catholics. It has come to connote judgmentalness, intolerance, and very narrow vision. Christian has become rather something political. No longer does it seem to have much to do with that beautiful legacy of our Lord. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. That's all there was to it in Jesus' day. That's all there was to it for my grandparents. We urgently need to get back to that. Christianity is not a list of the acceptable and the unacceptable. Christianity consists in three things: loving, loving, and loving. How do people know us as Christians? What do people think of Christianity when they see us? When people, any people, come to visit us in our churches, what do they find? How are they welcomed? How are they embraced and accepted? The legacy of the Lord is a legacy of love and of nothing else. I give you a new commandment: love one another. This, and only this, is how all will know that you are following me.